Snuggle Dell. The folk of Snuggle Dell worship the common rabbit. Floppy-eared bunnies are encouraged to hop around the fields surrounding the hamlet, bringing happiness, love, and more bunnies to the entire area.
I guess we're going bunny killing? Hello and welcome, my name is Buggerton at BoredGamer.co.uk, that's the name of the website, and this is level 6, episode 6 of our Retro Romp into Dungeon Keeper. So, have a look at the map, as always, and we can see a nice interesting pattern to this one. We've got this strange thing in the middle with a massive amount of gold. So, we've got one enemy keeper who hasn't yet reached his portal, two big piles of gold next to each of us at the beginning. So it's clearly going to be a race to see who can get that middle pile of gold the quickest. So there we go. It's time to mete out the ultimate punishment to a keeper who dares challenge you for this corner of the subterranean empire. The price of failure shall be oblivion. Yes, we shan't fail. Shan't, won't, not happening, not today, not ever. Okay, so we're going to dig this out. Also going to dig straight down here, and straight down to the water. That is a much more manageable, smaller room worth of gold. We're going to build our treasure room. I think we're gonna have to build our treasure room here, because if there's gold in the middle of the map that we're going to drag all the way back, we want it to be fairly nearby. So we're going to build our treasure room there and protect it with all our might. So we might see the guard post being used in this level. As in the previous level, we have 4 buildings. I think there is an addition 4 buildings that we haven't researched, which are the bridge, the guard post, the workshop, and the prison. We've all seen all of those before. And I think this is a new building, and I think there are creatures that are affiliated with this building in there. So the first one that gets there gets the new building. So, we're going to get a couple more imps. One of you is going to dig in this direction. We're just going to keep letting them plow away at this. And I'm going to take over this imp, actually. Turn around and just dig out this area thoroughly. And eventually arrive at the water. Okay, so there is water in the middle of this map, and it leads to this middle bit, which contains...
Your creatures are under attack.
Whoa! Bad guys! That's not what we wanted to see. Enemies, straight up. Okay, they will hit and kill me pretty quickly. I'm going to have to try and dodge them, and run past them, because I've done this level badly. Do not play this level like I'm showing you. I'm going to run straight through here and try and claim the creatures that I know are in the middle of the room. And there we go. We've got a few dark mistresses. And they're already quite high level, so they should kick the absolute life out of these enemy, whatever they are. So, we're going to bring these dark mistresses and place them down in front of our dungeon heart and kill these enemy heroes. That is not how you play this level. Okay, you've finally constructed a dungeon impressive enough to attract the Dark Mistress. You must discipline these wicked wenches frequently. They respond particularly well to a good slapping. This is the only creature that gets actually happier if you slap them. Because this game has a certain morbid feel to it. Which is, you know, very amusing. I'm quite fine with that. They're also incredibly powerful. They're attracted only by having a torture chamber in your fortress, which is this. They also seem to be explorers. They will home in your torture chamber if you have one, and they will home in on your training room also, which is good. Our little imps are finishing off digging this area. I think we're going to just select one, get him to claim this, claim these tiles, and start digging this out, and we're going to turn it into a treasure room, and then we're going to start digging out this entire area up here.
Has been claimed.
But there you go. We've got our portal. We need a lair. we're actually going to build the lair over here because this is a massive room.
Do not have enough gold.
Oh, we don't have enough gold, and I don't have a treasure room tile yet, so definitely need to start claiming these tiles.
You do not have enough gold.
So we've got a treasure room tile now. We can just drop that on the tile and build more treasure room and drop more gold on it. This is just a speedy way to start the level, is by building the treasure room and dumping the gold into it yourself. Your imps will go and do this themselves, of course.
Gold reserves are running low.
But for now, we're just going to build a treasure room that big so that we have enough space so that we can build our lair. And we can house our lovely Dark Mistresses. Dark Mistresses, good at training. I think they can work in the workshop, and they're okay at research. Not nearly as good as a Warlock, but obviously this early in the level, who's complaining? Certainly not me. So there we go. Imps are now studiously acquiring the gold from these rooms and piling it into the treasure room. We're going to turn this into a hatchery to feed our creatures.
You do not have enough gold.
Give our imps a quick hand by picking up the gold and dropping it in this room. And in fact, we're going to employ a few more imps after we've done this. And that should be enough for now. We can finish building this hatchery. But there you go, we've already got the upper hand on our enemy keeper. We've dug out all of the gold tiles in our area. So the imps should now be concentrating on picking up all that gold and dropping it in the treasure room. They should now scatter, pick up gold, take it to the treasure room. And we're not going to start digging out this gold yet, although we want the gold and we want the torture chamber, because we still need to build a few more rooms. We still need a bigger lair. We've got our hatchery. We need a training room to start training our creatures, get our Dark Mistresses slightly higher level. With this level, because we've got those Dark Mistresses fairly early on, we should be able to just train them a couple of levels and then just go and stomp the enemy fortress. Dark Mistresses benefit from a spell called Chain Lightning, which is incredibly powerful. Let's have a look at our level 4 Dark Mistress. She doesn't have any abilities yet, but I think once they hit level 5 and 7, they get, I think they get speed, and then I think they get Chain Lightning, and later on they get Drain Life, so they can keep themselves slightly self-sufficient on health as well, which is good. That is something we want. Okay, so the enemy keeper has a library, and he's researched the Sight of Evil spell, which means he can see what I'm doing in my fortress. Sneaky. I definitely need a library, so I need to build one of these. I'm going to build it here, far away from prying eyes, because the only creatures I want going into that are the Warlocks. What have we got? We've got Bile Demons. Bile Demons seem to turn up when you have a sufficiently large hatchery, it looks like. We actually need the training room. Don't need the dungeon, or don't need the training room or the workshop for them. They just like food, which is interesting. We've got beetles. We don't need beetles. But as you can see, our gold reserves are now a sufficiently high level. Because the imps started doing their jobs. Okay, our first payday. It's not going to be much because we don't have too many creatures and they're not very high level. But there you go. We've got our library. We should start seeing Warlocks appear in our dungeon. Let's have a look to see if the Dark Mistresses will do any research. They're going to get paid, and yes, they will. They're level 3, 3, and 4. And it's not too shabby a speed at which they're researching, so that's okay. We don't actually need Warlocks at the moment. But we definitely want a training room, which we are going to put here, fairly near the treasury. And we want it to be a nice large one, because we have that massive pile of gold in the middle of the fortress. Alright, we've got a new spell. What we're really looking for is the bridge, so we can get into the middle of the map here. But after the imps have dug out these tiles, even without a bridge leading to this area, they'll come here and they'll start digging out this gold. And we want to just dig all of it. We want all of this gold. We want it as quickly as possible to prevent our enemy keeper from
A new room has been
acquiring it.
researched.
He shouldn't be delving out too far yet because he's, as you can see, still working on that gold. So we've been quick, which is the essence, presumably, of winning. The essence of winning is being quick, quick and efficient. But yeah, usually the game would expect you to have a couple of units, because there were 4 level 1, I don't know if they're angels or heralds, the winged fairy creatures, or maybe they're fairies. When they're high level, they're really powerful, but level 1, they're pretty weak. So just a handful of level 1 creatures would have been enough to see that off. Because of my knowledge of this level, I dug straight through into this room to speed things up. But realistically, you probably would have wanted to claim your portal before you go exploring the level and get a few creatures, and maybe a level or 2 before you go and take them on. But as you can see, there are multiple ways of doing levels, and I like to show you all of the efficient ones. I think the level after this you can actually complete in about 3 minutes, because of a hidden creature on the map that you can claim to be yours, which is great. But it's also almost totally ludicrous. Okay, that's our bridge. We're gonna build our bridge. We've got the guard post, and we are gonna make use of the guard post on this level, because once we've built the bridge all the way into here, we're gonna claim this area, and we're gonna make a guard post here because there is a lot of gold. And the enemy imps are going to start wandering into it. We're going to dump a bunch of creatures on this guard post, and they're going to guard it. It's going to be awesome. Okay, we are going to get these Dark Mistresses training. And these Bile Demons. And the spiders. And this fly. We're just going to quickly explore with the fly. Just find out what is on the rest of this level, in the rest of the water. See if there are any dungeon specials lurking around. Okay, so the enemy has built a bridge around here. I can see it on the map. I can now see it because I'm close to it. I saw it on the map first. This leads to nothing. And
A new
what
room
about
has
over
been
here?
researched.
So over here we have nothing. And okay, so we got a dungeon special there. We'll check out what that is shortly. But we're now gonna come out of that, pick up our fly, drop him on the other side of the map, and go back into him. I'm not going down there because obviously they've started to explore now, so I don't want to alert them. Okay, creatures are under attack, so the combat has already begun. There's another dungeon special hidden down there.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Presumably that's our imps, and that's the third and final dungeon special on the map. So what have we got?
Your minions are winning a battle.
Enemy fly must have come through into our dungeon, and our creatures pretty much crushed it swiftly. No longer need our fly. It's done its scouting business. Let's get rid of it. Gonna place the rest of our creatures into the training room. Actually, I think that training room might still not be big enough. Okay. Now, you are running towards here. You're going to claim all these tiles, and that'll be nice. So what are these dungeon specials? We've got Make Safe, Transfer Creature, as I said, Transfer Creature appearing in many levels, and Increased Level. Increased Level is the only one we want. Make Safe is really useful early on if you do a lot of expanding and you don't fortify your walls. Make Safe simply fortifies every wall in your dungeon for you, which is not useful to us because we've broken through. You know, we've kind of broken through in order to confront the enemy anyway. But there you can see they already have a level 4 demon spawn because they got to opening their portal early. Google Installer has stopped. I don't even know what Google Installer is. Close the program, I guess. Sorry about that brief interlude. My computer just did a weird, curious thing. Okay, so you have claimed a torture room. Place captive heroes and creatures into this chamber of horrors to convert them to your supremely evil way. Alternatively, place your own creatures within this room whenever disciplinary measures become necessary. Okay, so that is a surefire way of making your creatures really annoyed and leave your fortress. Do not do this, unless it's to a Dark Mistress. If a Dark Mistress is grumpy, fine, put her in the torture chamber, she'll love it. Other than that, if you put an enemy creature in the torture chamber, you will get one of three things. They will die and come back as a ghost. They're not particularly powerful, but again, it is just a way of increasing your creature limit arbitrarily. They will give in to the torture in two different ways. The other two things on the list. They will give in and they will give you information, and that information will just simply be every bit of the map you haven't discovered that they have discovered. You'll discover by one tile. So these tiles around here will be discovered, and then if that happens again, more tiles will be discovered. So eventually every bit of information reveals quite a significant portion of the map, so you eventually get to see all of the map, and that's great. And the third and final thing is they will submit to the torture, and they will just simply convert to your cause. Okay, so we have one final spell, the Lightning Strike. This is our first offensive spell. It costs 600 gold, but you can charge it up, so it costs 3,000, and it is powerful enough that it will kill most level 1 creatures instantly in quite a large area if you charge it up to full power. It is quite costly though. 3,000 gold is not to be sniffed at. Our imps are not digging out gold at a particularly fast rate at the moment. We're gonna build another. Well, we're gonna acquire another 3 imps to get the gold digging going a bit faster. But realistically, we've got a lot of creatures training, and that's not cheap. So, lots of creatures training at the moment. We've dug out this area. We're going to make our training room slightly larger so we can get our warlocks training in it. We're not going to bother with the prison this game. We're not going to bother with the torture chamber this game, so I'm actually just going to sell this. We don't need it right now. For this level, we simply just want to crush our opposition. But we are going to build a bigger training room and get our warlocks training in it. Because everyone loves powerful wizards. Now get in there. Oh, they all just want to get paid. That's fair enough. So we'll let them get paid, and then we'll dump the rest of them in there. Creature payday. It's fairly expensive. Okay, so they're going back to training. And we can dump the other 4 in there. And that's good. I think everyone now is just automatically going towards training when they have done all of the other things which they like to do. So is this the increased level? It is. We are going to build a bridge over to that so that we can claim that as our own. Bridge tiles are pretty cheap, fortunately. So we're gonna grab the dungeon special before our enemy does, and we're gonna drag it over to our library, and we're gonna keep it there until we're ready to attack, and we're only gonna use it at that point. Okay, so let's drop an imp on this. There you go. He's picked it up. Dungeon special found. Increased level. Bestows greater skill on all creatures. How handy. And we are really running low on gold now. I think an imp was killed in this room. Might have been an enemy imp. But yeah, as you can see, when an imp is slain whilst carrying gold, it will... Oh no, I picked up a chicken. When an imp is slain while carrying gold, it will simply drop it all over the floor. And it looks like there was still a little bit of gold left in this room that they hadn't finished picking up. So I'm just going to pick up all of that, dump it in here, and the next creature payday is quite far away. There's a lot of gold in here. I'm tempted to move the treasury actually into this room. In fact, I think I might do that because we currently aren't digging out this gold quickly enough. to keep our creatures in training. And this should speed it up. Of course, it'll mean a greater distance between the training room and the treasury, but that shouldn't matter, because once it gets to the next payday, we'll be sufficiently far ahead that it'll be irrelevant. So I think making this a 5x5 is big enough. We don't need it to be any larger. We're not expecting to be attacked by the enemy keepers, and I think at this point we probably have enough gold and enough training. If we click on the map, we can just hover over and see everything. Yeah, these creatures are all sufficiently high level. We've got level 6 maidens, dark mistresses, and I think, what have they got? Yeah, they've got the chain lightning spell now, which is regular lightning, which is, you know, it's really powerful. So we're going to link up these bridges, and one of our imps is going to claim their bridge, and I'm going to just send our minions across with the call to arms spell, and we're going to try and end this level by quashing the hideous enemy. We're not going to bother... okay. I'm going to show you what happens when you use the make safe dungeon special. I'm going to use the increased level, and then we're going to go ahead with the plan, which I just stated. Okay, so looking at the map, you can see everything up here has the walls fortified, but everything around here doesn't. Click on this.
Your dungeon has been fortified.
Your dungeon has been fortified. And yes, it has. All of these walls now completely safe. The room's much more efficient. Lovely. And in fact, we now have a vast quantity of gold. So we could actually train for a lot longer. This has become a lot more efficient by having the treasury just here. But there's no point. I mean, you can, it's fun, sure, whatever. But realistically, screw it. Let's just win. So he's going to be destroying this. We've got an enemy imp that is angry about this, and they're fighting. We're going to place the call to arms spell down, and we're going to drop our creatures in for battle. So the fight has begun. We're going to drop our warlocks at a safe distance so they don't get slain by the... You see a spider just totally died there from all the gas. Not much we can do about that. But yeah, the ranged creatures just utterly fragile and need to stay away. But yeah, that's another spider that's just being killed by its own friendly unit's toxin. So I guess if we're using the bile demons, we can't use weak other creatures. So maybe spiders are now not good enough. Here we go. Looks like the last stragglers in the dungeon. We're gonna pick up everyone.
Your creatures are attacking the
I think that's all of our creatures. We're dropping down here next to the call to arms spell, increase their level, and then we're just slowly gonna advance the call to arms spell towards their dungeon heart and vanquish our enemies.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy. Your minions are winning a battle.
There we go, and they're gonna claim this room.
Your minions are winning a battle.
And keep going. No, what are you doing?
Your minions are winning a battle. You have claimed an enemy room. You need a bigger treasure room. Your creatures are under attack.
What creatures are under attack?
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
Where?
Your minions are winning a battle.
Oh, right. One of our bile demons has found his way to the enemy's dungeon heart. Slightly quicker than the rest of the units.
Your minions are winning a battle. Your minions are winning a battle. Your creatures are under attack. Your minions are winning a battle.
There we go.
Your minions are winning
They found the enemy dungeon heart. And that is a pretty swift end to the level. Okay, there's some water below their base though. So we're going to have a quick explore. I might speed things up after we've finished destroying the enemy's dungeon heart. And have a quick explore of down here. One of these maidens is very fast. I think she's level 7. Yeah. So level 7. She's got haste. Gonna speed up our movement speed, have a quick look in the water, see what's down here, see if there are any dungeon specials. If not, we'll pay it no heed. But as the area's been dug out, we might want to check their library. And the library contains nothing. If the enemy finds a dungeon special, usually they'll just take it to the library and they won't use it for themselves. Which is fine. But as you saw, they had not. So I don't know what this bottom watery bit is for. Possibly it's to ensure that if the enemy for some reason doesn't go north, that we can still get through their walls by going around via the water. Because as you could see, this tile was still open. Because if they fortified all their walls, there would be no way to get through into their dungeon. And this does happen at some points. You will end up where you can't get into their dungeon. There is a spell that is there is a spell that fixes that, however. So it's no worries. So that's it. We've got a transfer creature down here, which we're not going to use, but you could use to take one of those level 7 dark mistresses straight through to the next level and pretty much stomp the level for you. But that's not what we're going to do. We're just going to see the final text and go and do level 7 on our own.
Steep scythe. Everyone has been put to the sword, and we've made an enormous magic carpet out of the thousands of bunnies that swarmed here. Your minions will feast on their tiny remains for weeks. Truly a majestic victory.